and welcome to Radio eSteno, where you'll never know what you might find. Today I wanted to share with you an article about Charles Dickens. You might remember him as the author who wrote the Scrooge, Christmas Carol story, and many, many others. But what you may not know is that he, at one point, was a court reporter. He's very well known for kind of saying disparaging remarks about attorneys. So maybe that's where this came from, because of working so much with attorneys. So the article starts, as long as humans have been holding meetings, it's been someone's job to record them word for word. Scribes of ancient times used a form of shorthand as long ago as 3500 BC. Charles Dickens learned Gurney shorthand from his uncle, a newspaper editor. The 16-year-old's newfound skill rescued him from a life of poverty. He began a career as a freelance court stenographer around 1829 to report the goings-on in the House of Commons. Dickens traveled throughout Victorian England to report on elections and transcribe campaign speeches. Working as a court reporter gave Dickens a chance to observe personalities and speech. Later, his observations added grit to his novels, including David Copperfield, Great Expectations, and Oliver Twist. Dickens used pen, paper, squiggles, and dots to record parliamentary arguments about the abolition of slavery and the extension of voting rights to middle-class men. Technology leaped forward in 1879 when Miles Bartholomew of Illinois invented the first successful shorthand machine. The Bartholomew stenographic machine had 10 keys that churned out strings of dots and dashes, similar to Morse code. Today's court reporters use a 24-button keyboard with prefixes on the left, vowels in the middle, and suffixes on the right. Like musicians, they chord to spell out whole syllables, words, and phrases with a single hand motion. Specialized software translates stenotype into readable English on the reporter's laptop as they write. Later, they review the text for accuracy and correct spelling and grammatical errors. Although, just an aside here, we don't change any grammatical errors. We leave them as is. We're verbatim, so we leave any errors like that. Continuing on, accurate transcripts are vital because they form the basis of most appeals. One might wonder why court reporters don't just use a typewriter, but the average person speaks anywhere from 180 to 200 words per minute, much faster than even the fastest typist can pound the keyboard. In most states, students must pass state exams to show they can write 225 words per minute with 97.5% accuracy. Likewise, some wonder if electronic recording will send court reporters the way of the dodo bird. But live reporters can filter out extraneous noise. They can ask lawyers, judges, or defendants to speak up or repeat statements to ensure an accurate transcript. And they can put the proceedings into a human context while providing an instantaneous transcript. Technology fails. There have been instances where people forgot to turn on the recording device or failed to notice it had stopped working. The nature of the court reporting makes its practitioners silent witnesses of the events they preserve. But the National Court Reporters Association, NCRA, wants to get the word out about the profession. The 21,000-member professional organization supports the guardians of the record. The NCRA serves as an educational and informational resource about a career that often flies under the radar. In another article from the Court Scribes, it says, court transcription keeps judges and lawyers well informed of what's going on in a trial and gives them a resource to turn to when they need clarification of details. The court reporting technology that court scribes use today is state of the art. But the skill of recording court proceedings is an old one that has been practiced for more than a century. As a matter of fact, even one of the 19th century's most famous authors got his start in writing as a court stenographer, the San Diego Reader said. None other than Charles Dickens, author of A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, and Great Expectations, among other classic books, worked as a law clerk, and his tasks included delivering documents and running errands. He soon became bored with the low-level duties and decided he wanted to be a court stenographer. Court stenographers recorded the proceedings of a trial in shorthand called gurney, which could take 3 years to learn. But Dickens mastered the, quote, "that savage stenographic mystery," end quote, in 3 months. After he met the challenge, he became skilled in stenography, but wanted to take his career a step further. Soon he began covering Parliament for his uncle's newspaper, reporting on debates between politicians. His experience in the courtroom and in Parliament exposed him to many different kinds of people, whose personalities and accents he later captured in his novels. He also learned to work quickly and was able to produce 15 novels in his lifetime, including the unfinished book The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Dickens died of a stroke on June 9, 1870. He is regarded by many as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era, and his books are still widely read today. This time of year, many theaters stage productions of his story, A Christmas Carol, featuring well-known characters Ebenezer Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, and the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Here's a few more other famous people who were either court reporters or court reporting students. Charles W. Chestnut, he was also an author, but he had a longer career as a court reporter. Harvey Keitel, you've been hearing about him. Some trouble he got in. He was a court reporter in New York City before his acting career. Michelle Pfeiffer went to court reporting school. She's an actress. Kim Delaney, another actress, studied to be a stenographer. So some of them just studied and didn't make it, but interesting to see that some of these famous people started out as court reporters, or at least learning to be a court reporter. Okay, now it's your steno detective time. I have some words and phrases. I'm just going to say them. I would like you to write them phonetically, then look them up, and you can send to me the correct spelling and the meaning, the definition. This is part of what we do as court reporters and captioners, to prepare or also to look up words we have written that we don't know. All right, here we go. Ex gratia. Ex gratia. Femme sole. Force majeure. Informa pauperis. Force majeure. Informa pauperis. And here is your motivation moment. Don't make things too complicated. Don't make things too complicated. Try to relax. Enjoy every moment. Get used to everything. I don't know how many students I talk to who overthink everything. It's just a simple, maybe ABC, and in about a 30-second conversation, they've gone down all these different rabbit holes and what ifs and yeah buts. Don't make things too complicated. Try to relax, enjoy every moment, and get used to everything. Don't dwell in the past. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. All right, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you next time.